Okay guys, today we're gonna start making, well, I already did start, these flares to keep the tire under the bed. I'm cutting the piece to go here right now. It'll have a little taper so you don't catch your ankle or knee on it. I'll have to cut some plates to go in these holes, and on this one, these front toolboxes are recessed in some more, so I'll have to get some angle iron and run it out off of the box to support this, and then fill that in and fill this in. So that being said, let's get started. Y'all had a good Christmas. I didn't. I mean, I did with the family, but with all this illegal immigration BS, my work has, over the years, been getting thinner and thinner. Because you got guys coming into this country that can do the work a lot cheaper, whereas me, I'm paying commercial insurance on this truck for one, which is pretty high. I've got general liability insurance, which isn't cheap, my LLC, of course, all that stuff. It makes it hard to actually make a living. And then when you get guys coming in cutting your throat by doing the job super cheap, it just screws it up for everybody. Now everybody's going to drop their prices, and the bad thing is my prices are so low already, I was barely making money, to the point where if I did a job and I made a mistake somewhere, heaven forbid I had to buy more materials, there went my profit. So I ended up having to get a job, which, oh, I know, poor me. Well, with my circumstances, I can't just get a 9-to-5 job. My special needs kid, you know, he's got therapies twice a week. He's got all kinds of stuff going on. He don't walk, he don't talk, he eats some. So he requires pretty much 24-hour supervision. I say that, he sleeps all night. But I never know when I'm going to have to run and take him to the hospital because something happened or something's going on. So having a job, yeah, I could get one, but I'd probably lose it in a month from having to take off. So that was part of the reason I started my own business, so I could do what I needed to do and still work. And that's not the reason why I'm not getting jobs. I'm not getting jobs because, especially in my area, people don't want to pay. I mean, they want everything dirt cheap, but then they want to get on Facebook or wherever and be like, oh, I'll gladly pay extra for quality work. No, you won't. You'll pick the cheapest guy, and then when he screws up, you'll be back on Facebook throwing him under the bus, bitching about how crappy a job they did. So it is what it is, but hopefully work will pick back up after the first of the year and I'll get back rolling again. But so that was another reason why I started the YouTube channel, hoping between my work and YouTube I could spend more time at home with my son and my daughter, for that matter. I got a 4-year-old daughter, so we'll see what happens. But anyways, other than that, it was a good Christmas. Hung out with family, my wife's family. We all have our separate deals. Everything went all right. So that being said, I'm going to get back after. I'm going to tack this on a little better, and we'll cut the piece for the front. out to hang my mud flaps off of. Well, I can do that later. Alright, so this piece cut, well, I need the angle iron in there first so I know how long that piece has got to be. So we'll go to the other side. I've got to do this same setup on it. And I've already got this piece on. pad welds. I mean, they're not my greatest, but they will work. And it ain't coming off. Let's see what this other side looks like. I don't see why that wouldn't work. That'll keep it from slinging mud up on the, well, all the way up over the cab too. Let me pause y'all guys for a second. I'm gonna go grab my coffee and get back after it. Before I do that, let's see how well it matches up on the other side. I know it ain't going to because that box isn't correct. The dimensions on both sides are different. Yep. That's alright, we'll make one for this side. It's not a noticeable enough difference to really matter. I mean, this is a work truck. So it is what it is. Well done. Let's try that again. do that other side. I'm gonna get my measurements. So we know that's a 90. All we gotta have is this measurement, 9 3/4, and then this measurement, 9 3/4 by 5 3/4. that gap, but I'll fill it in. That angle is just a little bit lower on this one than on the other side of the truck. So now we need to measure this one. I think they're closer to the same on both sides. I think the main problem back here is you see that gap where that box isn't as far back as the other side is. But anyhow, we'll measure this and cut it. Alright guys, I didn't want to bore you with all the welding it up together, but it's pretty much a done deal, other than paint. I still am going to have to paint it, but I'm not worried about grinding the welds all the way down to nothing. That metal is so thin that if you do that, then they're just going to crack and break. So leave the weld. Once it's painted, it'll be fine. And that covers up the tires now. I did go ahead and put a little piece on the front too, just because it didn't look finished with that sticking out like that. I would have liked to have had a nice round piece, but that was going to be a pain. And I even thought about putting a plate up against this and cut the radius out. Then it actually looked like kind of like a little thin dually fender, but then the opening would be round. But I mean, for what it is, it's a work truck. I think it'll be fine. This side's also done. And then while I was at it, I cut some pieces of diamond plate to put up there, because this side had some holes. I guess they had something mounted on there and it broke off, and that thin, and the metal in that headache rack is super thin, so it tore a big hole out. And I thought, yeah, this will be a good way to cover it up, kind of dress it up a little. And again, the welding skid is going to sit right there, and you can see how tall it is, so it's gonna actually probably cover up my backup light. Fantastic. But anyways, and I plan on putting that in sideways where this face of it is on the driver's side. That way I can get to the engine to start it, I can get to the plasma cutter, I can get to everything I need on it. With the exception of the reels, they may be a little too high for me to go up there and release, but I can jump up in the truck. Dang it, that's what else I was going to do. I've already got a grab handle here. I was going to build a step where I can pull myself up onto the bed without having to climb up from the back. But it is what it is. May do that later. And I added a couple of D-rings for pulling trailers, just for the safety chains to hang on, because before it just had loops of, I guess it was some kind of solid bar, and one was opened up real wide, one was real skinny. Probably couldn't even get the chains through them. So this way, those are super heavy duty. They'll hold up any kind of trailer ever if it breaks loose. I still got to cover up this hole, and this one I ran the wires out of it. This is temporary. That's probably where I'm going to put my trailer plug. And yeah, because it's on the driver's side, but it's down below the bumper, which I've got a bunch of slack in the cable on that thing for the plug. I've just got it looped around the jack, so I don't have a big huge piece, you know, that can get down underneath and drag the ground and wear a hole in it. But anyways, we're a little closer. I went ahead and took the cover off of the gooseneck ball. I was going to just weld it and cover it up, but if I ever did have to pull a gooseneck in an emergency, I want to leave it uncovered, because that skid is 4 feet, so 4 feet from here, it's going to be putting it right on the edge of that. But I should still be able to pull a gooseneck. It'll be close, but I did tack weld this down, or stitch it just a little, because I didn't want that rattling. So we're a little closer, guys, but I think for now that's it. I did have to get some air fresheners and put them inside, because this weekend I drove it to get the tires mounted, and I'm pretty sure, I think it's in the video, I'll go back and check, or I'll know when I go to upload it. But there was a bunch of crap in the AC box under the hood, and I guess just the heat from the heater core, I don't know what caused it, but anyways, it started smoldering, and then when I turned the blower motor on, it was just like putting a leaf blower on a campfire. It just started flaring up and it was spitting embers out. So I took that whole assembly apart, I pulled the evap coil out, cleaned it all out, put it back together. But as a result, it blew that smell of burnt rat crap and fur and carcasses and whatever else was in there inside the cab, and it stinks bad. So I've got those two little, they're actually for laundry, but they're supposed to be like a dehumidifier. They absorb the humidity in the air, so I'm hoping they absorb the stink. And it's just like a fresh scent, so it actually just smells kind of like a laundry room in here now, which is a hell of a lot better than it was. But the one thing I really don't like about this truck, obviously other than four-wheel drive, is that. Now the cab corner, everything else is solid, but for some reason, and I don't know if it's coming into the windshield or the lights, but it ran all the way down and it rotted the floor out. So it is what it is. I'm not going to worry about patching it unless it gets to the point where my foot's bending the floor down and it's fixing to come apart. But other than that, I'm not going to worry about it. I did get insurance on the truck. I got all 6 of my brand new truck of it. Not the weight of the truck itself, but the capacity. The capacity is 14,500 pounds, and I've called every insurance company I know of, and none of them would let me insure it other than commercially. You know, as soon as they put the VIN number in, they're like, oh, nope, we're not doing that. So I got commercial insurance on it, which is fine. It's under my business name, and we'll just deal with it. It's not as expensive as I thought, but it's a lot more than regular insurance. But yeah, so I've been using my truck and my welder to go to my new job. But like I was saying earlier, at least it's money. He's paying me through my LLC, so more or less it's like I'm still working. It's just now it's super steady until we finish this contract. And then he may have some fence work to do, but for now it'll be a steady set amount every week, and maybe when things start slowing down with him, I can get back on my business. You know, maybe my work will pick up. I'm not really counting on it doing it, because just the way things are right now, nobody's got any money still, and the ones that have it don't want to spend it, and the ones that do want to spend it want the cheapest guy possible. Imagine that. So I'm just going to keep plugging away at it and go from there. So anyways, guys, if you haven't already, go check out some of my other videos. I got some pretty cool stuff. I've got a few things I'm going to build. I actually bought a little, one of them little Tractor Supply mini bikes. I've got to work on that. And I've got this Corvette go-kart body. And I need to, it's missing the front end. The only thing that sucks about it, well, and the paint, which I'm going to redo all that, and it's got some fiberglass work needs to be done. But I need to find or build a front end for it. I have the back piece, but it's plastic and it's really super thin. And it's busted, which I can fix all that. But I need to make a video, I guess, of building a complete custom frame, put my own engine on it, wheels and tires, and make this little thing run. I think that'd be pretty cool. And we'll go over here and I'll show you the mini bike I got. Supposedly it runs and drives. It has no brakes. And what happened is the twist throttle broke. So what they did is they took the cable off the brakes and hooked it to the throttle of the engine. So now the brake lever on the handlebars on the right side is your throttle, which is great. It'll run and go. It just won't stop. So I need to put some gas in that a little bit later, check out the carburetor and see if I can't fire it up. But I'm gonna I gotta get new hand grips for it. I don't know if that kill switch even works or not, but I can put another one on it. And I'll probably hook this back up to the brake and then I'm going to put one of those thumb throttles on it. I think it'll be, those are super handy. I've used several of them. They're really pretty reasonable. They're pretty cheap actually, and they work great. If you look back in one of my older videos, I had a I called it the Death Chariot. It was actually one of those three-wheel electric, like a warehouse cart. You stood up on it to drive it. It didn't have a seat, and it had, I took the motor out. It had an electric motor like in a golf cart, and I think it ran off of 2 batteries, maybe just one, I can't remember. But it was a three-wheeler, and it had a big metal plate on it, and basically the further forward you push that plate or the pedal, the faster it would go. And it still only went probably like 5 or 7 miles an hour because you're standing up on this thing to drive it. And then when you lean back, that was your brakes. So what I did is I had like a little 2 or 3 horsepower Briggs and Stratton engine. It was an old one, but it ran great. I put a centrifugal clutch on it, and it just happened to be the same size chain as what the electric motor drove. So I ran that down. I put one of them thumb throttles on the handlebars, and then I made a brake assembly. I think it was a band brake. I'll have to go back and see because I can't remember how I did it. So when you lean forward, it didn't really do anything. You had your hand throttle, but when you lean back, it actually applied the band brake or the disc brake, whatever I had on. I think it was a band brake, and it worked great. The thing would run like 30-something miles an hour, maybe 40. It was scary. Therefore I called it the Death Chariot. Death Chariot. Anyways, go back in my older videos. I think it's from like 5 years ago, and go check it out. I think you'll get a kick out of it. My wife thought it was ridiculous, and I actually sold it to a biker guy. He thought that would be cool to have it as, he had a shop, so he was happy with it, and I haven't heard nothing about anybody getting killed on it, so I guess it worked out for him. So anyways, guys, with that, I'm gonna let you go. If you haven't already, like and subscribe. I'm still trying to get to 1,000 subscribers so I can get some kind of AdSense going, you know. I'm not monetized yet. I'd love to be monetized, but right now the only way I can do it is through the supers or the thanks, which I'd have to do a live chat, which I may do one day. I don't know. For right now, I don't have that kind of time. Excuse me. That wasn't even a good yawn. Ain't nothing more disappointing than starting a yawn and not being able to finish it. Anyhow, guys, we'll talk to you later, and thanks for watching the video. I really do appreciate it. I appreciate all the subscribers I got, and I even appreciate the ones that haven't subscribed yet, but I know they're gonna. So, that being said, guys, y'all have a good rest of the weekend. Have a happy and safe new year, and stay out of trouble. All right, later.